You're watching E.T.N. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our review for Game of Thrones. Rough episode for me to watch personally. Just watching a little girl burn just tore me up. It didn't really sit well with me. So bear with me. I'm a little bit jolted right now. I have a daughter, and my daughter happens to be in New York right now, so not only do I miss her, but then having to watch that scene just completely wrecked my heart. But probably the hardest moment on the show that I've had to endure. But outside of that, this was a fantastic episode, leading all the way up to the end. We open up in, Castle Black with Jon Snow coming back with the Night's Watch and the Wildlings after their brutal showdown with the White Walkers, which definitely was brutal if you remember last week. And you can see there's just a punch of crows that just get mean grilling him. And it's kind of giving me this feeling that the number of people that don't agree with him are more than the number of people who are on his side. And that's a little bit terrifying when you consider he's the Lord Commander, but there's only a small handful of people, backing him up. So we'll see how that plays out, if that's something he's got to worry about. Not to mention, we know now that Stannis has sent his hand up there to get resources, but that's not the reason he sent them up there. He obviously sent them up there because he knew what he was going to do, and he knew that if Sir Davos was there, he would have stopped him. I only wish that Sir Davos would have had some sort of clue as to why he was going up there. I think he might have had a very vague idea, because it did seem odd to him that he had to go up there. But nonetheless, he went, he followed his king's orders, and unfortunately, Princess Baratheon burned at the stake, which was very brutal to watch. It was very tough. Not that they actually showed it, but just the idea of it. And it seems like her mother came around and it was just too late. If she had to come around sooner, maybe that would never have happened. Or maybe so, I don't know. But Stannis appeared to have a hard time with it until it was actually happening. And he just stood by and watched. He wants to be king so bad that he sacrificed his own daughter. Personally, I probably would have just said, you know what? It's a wrap. Somebody else can be king. I'll take my daughter and my men and my people, and we're going back home. Screw it. But that's me. I wouldn't want to be a king that badly. So, we go to Dorne and we see that Jaime has, taken up breaking bread basically with the King of Dorn, and they seem to work out their differences. We see that he now knows why Jaime was there and has agreed to allow Jaime to go back with his niece or his daughter, however way you want to put it, and the prince, and they're still going to wed. So, maybe not exactly what Cersei may want, but then again, Cersei can't really care right now. She's locked up. So, but nonetheless, she's out of harm's way. Jaime's heading back. Bronn's heading back. He had to take a shot in the mouth for it, but that's a small price to pay, considering that he was inches from death just a week ago. So that worked out for the best, because that really could have started a big war. Now we go down to Braavos and we see that Arya is continuing, I guess if you want to call it some sort of training, and she's following these orders, but she gets sidetracked when she sees Tyrell there with Samarin, I believe his name was Samarin, and that's one of her men. That's one of the ones on her list, and she's following him. She's keeping an eye on him, and we see that he's just a disgraceful type, man. He wants little girls. I mean, this episode makes it very tough to be a father. I gotta tell you that right now. If you're a dad and you watch this episode, tough episode to watch. But she's scouting him. She knows where he is. She knows his weakness. He seemed to recognize her, but he can't quite put together exactly who she is, but he does recognize her face. Hopefully, if she decides to do something, maybe she can use herself as bait to get in closer to him and plant that poison that she's been given. However, she is going off orders. I'm pretty sure he knows about it. And we'll see how that works out. She has orders to basically continue to poison this guy at the dock, and she's not following them. So we'll see how that works out. Will she get the kill she wants, or will she sacrifice her place right now as she's being trained or she's being shown the way of the god of many faces. We'll see how that works. So then we go to Meereen, and we see Daenerys is continuing to try and be traditional, follow Meereen's tradition. Very reluctant. She doesn't like this kind of brutal act, but she is trying to, you know, meet halfway. And as the battles are going, we see Ser Jorah come out, and he fights. I really thought he was going to bite the dust a couple of times. Tyrion is really on edge because even though he was his capture, they obviously bonded a little bit. They went through a lot together. So Tyrion does not want to see him die. So furthermore, we see that the Harpies are still in play. And while I thought that the man-to-be was the one behind all this, it turns out he gets killed along with a lot of other people, many of them slaves, being killed as well. We see just how big this Harpy army is. They were not prepared. There were not that many Unsullied there. Most of the men are probably out, you know, walking the streets or just guarding the doors, whatever the case may be. They were heavily outnumbered. And lo and behold, here comes the dragon. The dragon comes and saves the day. And I was going to get pissed if that dragon was going to bite the dust, especially considering out of the three, he's the biggest and the toughest one. And while we questioned for so long whether or not she had any control over these dragons, it seems though as vicious as he is and as brutal as he may be, and maybe he will never listen fully to Daenerys, he still recognizes her as the mother. And she took, you know, climbing on his back, she said fly, and he took off, and he took her to hopefully to safety. We're going to have to see what happens next week. But it was a very tough episode for me to watch. It just that whole scene with the princess being burned at the stake just tore me apart. And, you know, there are many rough moments on the show, but this was the roughest for me, bar none. And again, you got to be a father to understand that. Maybe not even fully a father, if you're just a human, you know what I mean? To see a little girl just, it was rough. It was rough for me to watch. And it doesn't help the fact that my kids are on vacation right now with my parents. So my daughter's not here, and that just made it worse. And here comes my wife cuddling me. It's tough, man. Very fond of my daughter. We're very close. So for that sake, I did not like this episode in terms of seeing that. But story-wise and progression-wise, it was very good. It was a very good follow-up to last week. Last week's ending was obviously much more epic. But seeing the dragon in action was just great. We haven't seen that much dragon action in one scene, I don't think ever. And the way he was burning the men, but at the same time, it goes to show you that these dragons are still young. While he's big, I don't think he's fully grown yet. The fact that they were able to actually give him some trouble by throwing spears at him is just a testament that while these dragons are powerful, they're not invincible and they're not fully matured yet. But he escaped alive. He escaped with the queen, so all is well in that point. But we'll see how Daenerys and her council handles the Harpies going forward. I don't think we're going to be seeing any more pit fights. And if we do see more pit fights, I don't think we're going to see them without a lot of Unsullied and other men there to make sure that things don't get out of control. But we'll see. We got one episode left. A very good episode. A very, very rough scene. Very emotional scene for me personally. With Princess Baratheon finding her demise at the stake. And, you know, that's the show, man. This show does it to you. It'll test you. And it's never really tested me up to this point. That part got to me bad. It really, really did. It's probably one scene I'll never watch again. You know, when I buy the seasons and I watch the episode, I'll probably just fast forward that. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. So, but anyway, guys, that's it for this video. What did you think of the episode? Did you like it? I thought it was very good, minus that scene. Story-wise, it progressed. The dragon was just phenomenal to watch. Special effects, considering it was a show, is very good. And we'll see we'll see how things transpire next week. And man, see episode 10 already. God, I hope. Something's going to go down. Hopefully Baratheon gets what he wants after sacrificing his daughter. And we see a nice fight, a nice war ensue on Winterfell. That's it for this review, guys. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the Nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit E.T.N's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description.